Howdy. So, if you are a student who's looking for success in 2026 and you're one of those students who's putting in the hard work and not quite sure why you're not making full improvement, this video is there for you. For those of you who are new and you don't know me, my name is Joe Brown. I'm the head of curriculum and innovation at an international school in Vietnam, and I'm here today to bring some of the innovative ideas that I've been learning about to help you, the student, improve and do better this year. I've made it this mission this year to share the innovative learnings that I've got in order to help you and all students out there to reach their potential. And that's what this one is about today. We started last week looking at becoming very serious in 2026 and looking to make this a very successful year. And now that things are underway, we're looking at that next difficult question for those students who are putting in the effort but finding that they're not really making the improvement that they would like. Okay, that is one of the problems I see. Last week we looked at what makes a serious student, those students who have the improvement mindset, but we go from that to actually putting in the effort. And I do see a lot of students who do put in the effort. They want to take it seriously, but they're seeing that there's a disconnect, that their input is not equaling the results that they want to see. And that's a problem for many students, and one that I think we can help you with today. Okay, the key insight, what I want to get to underlying all of these things is that if you're putting in a lot of effort and you're not seeing the results, well, maybe you're not doing the right kind of practice. And I noticed this. I watched my son playing piano, and I noticed that he does practice and he does put in the effort, but he likes to practice what's easy. He likes to practice the things that he knows. It feels good. He gets the pat on the head and it goes well. And that kind of practice, where it does feel good, where you can do it well, it will maintain your skills, but it's not going to help you see the real big lift in results that you're looking for. What you want to do is you want to take that practice to that uncomfortable edge, to that messy edge where you're not quite so good and where you're going to put in the practice that helps you get better. So if you're struggling to take that leap, we're going to bring you 3 tools that could help you to find that uncomfortable edge and do the kind of practice that's going to help you improve. Okay, so we're going to just keep clicking through and get to it. So our first tool that we're going to look at to help you to do the kind of practice is the retrieval practice. Tool number one is doing the right kind of retrieval practice. Now, I see a lot of students who think that they're doing really hard work, and they are. They're putting in the time, but quite often what they're doing is they're looking through their notes and they're cramming their notes and they're rereading their notes a lot. And they've got the highlighter out and they've highlighted everything and they've done some checking answers, but it's not having the big impact. Now, if that's what you're doing and it's not having the big impact, well, maybe you're doing that kind of practice that's not pushing you there. It's not having the impact because you're doing the easy practice. What I would suggest is to do active recall. And this is backed up by research. John Hattie, among many researchers, would support this, that the kind of retrieval you want is active retrieval. So if you're finding that you're not quite making the leap, maybe you need to try to be a bit more active. So instead of going through those notes, my first tip is to close those notes and to start with what we'd call active recall. Get out the blank page and put on the blank page a big spider diagram or a mind map or a brainstorm, whatever you'd like to do. All of the things that you know about the topic that you are revising. That will tell you what you already know. And if you're reading through that stuff and going over it and highlighting it, well, you already know it. But what you should do from that step is go and check your notes, go and check the syllabus, check the book, see what's not on your mind map, see that bit that you've forgotten, see that bit that you're not so good at. Okay? But even before you get to that step, You might take what you've got on the page and you say, I know this. Well, how well do you know it? Have you checked by answering questions? Have you evaluated your answers to decide just how certain you are? That kind of activity of writing down answers to questions and evaluating your level of certainty before you check is going to be really helpful to get your mind metacognitive, really active, thinking, this is the level that I know it. You may support yourself when you check the answers, or you might surprise yourself. Another activity that's really good is to explain ideas out loud. If you think you know it, and then you can speak it out to someone and you do know it and you can transfer it, that's when you're going to feel really confident. Also, that explaining to someone has the relationship edge on it. That'll get locked in because of emotional memory and the imagery of it. Talking with someone about it, that has a chance to sink into a long-term memory and be really helpful. Okay, so that's step number one. See what you know, see what you don't know. Tool number two kind of builds on that, and we're looking at that messy edge where you don't really know it. You've put all the stuff you know on the page, you've evaluated what you know, what you don't know, and now you're going to take that weak area. You've identified it. You're going to be really, really active in thinking about it, and you are going to really tell your brain, this is the bit I don't know. Isolate it and then practice it slowly. Aim for mastery. You don't want the kind of shallow learning of reading through notes over and over and hoping it sticks. You want to do the actual work. Practice problems with it. Answer questions with it. Try to explain it to somebody. Close the book again. Write down everything that you remember. Go through that whole process. When you make mistakes, correct it immediately and then evaluate. Have you learned it? Are you ready to move on? Do the deliberate practice with the stuff you don't know. Okay, so we've gone through tool one, find out what you know, find out what you don't know. Step two, deliberately practice what you don't know, lock it in. And then we move on with tool number three. Feedback loops is probably something that you've heard about before. It's very popular in education discourse these days, and it comes from the work of many researchers. I recently came across it in Carol Dweck's work. She's all about growth mindset, and this is what we want to get you to, the level where you're always looking at that messy edge, looking for the bit you can't do. So you're going to rely on this one on feedback. And in an education setting, that's really easy. Your teachers will be assessing you and they'll be giving you feedback. But you could always find your own mentors and ask them to give you feedback. You could ask your parents, you can ask your friends, but find out really objectively from someone who knows you, what are you not doing well? What went wrong in the assessment? Then the first stage, what will you change? How are you going to improve on what you got wrong? Being aware of it, having a plan to move on, that's the first step. And then practice again, really mindful of fixing that problem. Then you've got to go back and get verification. Now, as I said, in education, this is usually easy, but there are a couple of issues. If your teacher's not giving you the feedback, then you have to go and ask them. Go and ask them. If it's vague, they say just get better. Say, what do I need to get better at? Get the specific thing that you need to improve on. Don't ask for everything. What's the number one first thing I need to go away and improve? Go away, plan it, and improve. Another issue that we have in education is quite often we teach the skill, we test the skill, and we move on. And this is where you're going to have to be active. You're going to have to be really metacognitive, really in charge of your own learning. And you need to go away, think about your plan, do the practice, and then go back and ask, have I fixed that problem or have I not? And then you get more feedback to go on with, and then you'll be ready to move on to that next loop. Okay, these are three tools that are really helpful for you, and if you're not making that jump, they can really help. Okay, so for this week, you're probably not going to jump in and do everything, but a quick way that might help you to start to build a habit, a routine around this is every night do that retrieval, pick a subject, do 10 minutes, no notes, the blank page, write down everything that you remember, everything that you lock in and you know. Go for the stuff that you're not sure you remember, and then that next 5 minutes, really check the things that you're not 100% sure on. Make sure you correct them straight away, lock them in, and the final 5 minutes, find that hardest piece that you are really going to struggle. Tell your brain to take it seriously, lock it in, and then next time you can repeat the whole practice. It should become a nice routine, a habit where memory retrieval and practicing skills and reusing and remembering will drive your improvement. And that's going to be it for today. I don't want to overload you, as hopefully you're going to see we're going to be coming back every week or regularly with these kind of tools and helpful tricks. And hopefully this one's going to be a real game changer for you. I'm very serious. I believe in that. If you stick to a winning plan, then the score will take care of itself. If you do the work, you get that improvement mindset, you practice things that are proven to work, then you will get better. And we're going to make 2026 a fantastic year, one step after another. We're going to keep building. So have a great week, and thank you for listening.